We're live, baby! Woo!
Vivian.
Welcome to The Real Raw, everyone. A place where we get to see and experience how influence is a superpower. The Real Raw offers us a chance to have a microphone and a stage, form ecosystems, make more money in less time with more magic, all with the use of the formula, which Sean Calaghi curated for the past 23 years. Sean Calaghi is an entrepreneur, a national speaker, philanthropist, one of America's top trial attorneys, and is the chief visionary officer of Unblinded. And though he is blind, he is here to unblind us integrity through micro distinctions on how we can all go from hello to yes in any role that we play in life, so we can lead leaders and leaders can lead influencers and make the world a more heart-centered and amazing place. And I think almost everybody's here, so welcome, Sean.
Vivian, what's up? And I also have the unique privilege and distinction of saying that I am Vivian's friend. So like that's what's happening for me today. Happy Y Wednesday, Vivian. And I'm just so thankful to be here with everybody. And let's get it rolling. I know we are still awaiting one of our contestants, but let's do introductions. And I'm sure that that fine contestant will be here as we roll through. So
actually, he just got here, so it's great. We have Nate Zalesnik in the house.
Nate in the
Hi,
house.
guys.
What's up, Nate?
I apologize. I had some, I just got off the phone with Lily. I was having some issues getting my camera on here, so I'm blessed and honored to be with all of you. And I also have the amazing distinction of calling Vivian my friend as well. So
Yes.
I'm sure that
Awesome.
Yeah.
Then why don't you, Nate, let Vivian hit you with the lightning bolt of Vivian introduction energy. Vivian, who's Nate?
He's the CEO and founding director of the Vibravision Foundation. Both he and his brother Chris run the foundation and are on a crusade to eliminate blindness as we see it. Vibravision helps those without sight perceive the world in a whole new way using an ancient breath and meditation technology called Merpati Putih, and which came from the royal family of Java, Indonesia.
I got to pause. I want Rob Gill to say that 5 times fast when Rob goes. So, like, yeah, Rob, get ready to say that 5 times fast. Vivian, go ahead.
Kunta Kinte.
Slightly different.
Slightly
Fact,
different.
both Nate and his brother are the first non-Indonesians to ever be allowed to learn the Merpati Putih. Say that again, Rob. Say that again. What did you say,
Makati
Rob?
Kuti. Makata Kuti.
So close. So
Oh, he got close. And bring Vibravision to America. So welcome, Nate.
Thank
Nate,
you
what's
so much.
happening, brother? How
Oh
are
my
you?
God. If I were any better, Sean, I would be twins.
That's awesome. Where are you coming
I
from?
love that. Oh my God. I can't wait to use that.
Oh my God. Yeah, I didn't make that up. I actually got that from a platinum partner that said that on David Fagan's JV Mastermind, and I was like, I'm stealing that. So Rob, by all means, steal it, brother.
I'm going to give you credit though. I promise.
Okay, that sounds good. I forgot who said it, so I would pass it along, the credit there. But yeah, things are going so well for us. We just finished up a Vibravision immersion for a bunch of platinum partners last night, about 11 o'clock at night. And our minds are blown with how well everybody did.
That's awesome.
Oh my God. Yeah. And we're just going to do a new era of perception and contribution.
Wow. Love it, Nate. Welcome. Where are you physically in the world today?
I am in the small town of Huntsville, Utah.
Coming from Utah. And what's a fun fact, Nate, about Nate?
A fun fact about me, I like to skydive, scuba dive, paraglide, power paraglide, surf badly. Sean, I could use some lessons. And pretty much anything that has to do with, I like adrenaline. I really do, with calculated risk.
All right. If you can go anywhere scuba diving in the world, like today, where would Nate go?
Great Barrier Reef while it's still there.
Boom. Drop the mic. Nate, welcome. Vivian, and we have another amazing participant.
Yes, we do. We have Joe Davis. He's a sales executive at Benefit Mole and works closely with Epic Wealth Management and with Rob Gill, which is why he's
No way. What, Rob? Coincidence? What is happening? So, yes.
His mission is to educate and advise people and help employees better understand medical benefits so they can live a more fulfilled life. And he can tell you his little factoid. I won't take it away from him.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. So I'm a father of 2. Life has obviously changed in those 8 years, right? Because when you were single and successful and you didn't have any worries, right? I was out there in the cover scene, Jersey Shore, if anybody knows. Being down at the beach is a very big thing for us. And I'm a drummer. So I'm a guy behind a, beating the hell out of a plastic drum, while drinking some beers and just enjoying everybody's company, but that has since changed with kids. So now I'm more reserved and, I try to do the right things, on a daily basis for sure. Coaching is a passion for what I do. I coach travel baseball and soccer. And, it's just the new norm for me. So fun facts, again, just, I just enjoy life, enjoy beach, anytime with the family and rocking on a drum every once in a while. So
Very cool. Favorite Jersey Shore beach?
Jersey Shore Beach, LBI. I'll go with LBI. From a
boom, Vivian. Boom, boom, boom. Yes.
Shark movies and Sean surviving.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. But we spend a lot of time in Outer Banks, OBX, Hatteras. So we do get there, a couple times a year, believe it or not. We just got back July 4th. We did quarantine for those who have to quarantine. But that's nothing like Hatteras in Outer Banks. That is, to me, the real, kind of shore for me. So although I live in Jersey, born and raised, North Carolina, Outer Banks is where to be.
All right, brother. Quick question.
Yeah.
As you were playing, right? As you were playing the Jersey Shore bar scene, what band did you play in?
So I played with a couple bands. The big band for me was called Shots and Goggles. I know, crazy name, very stupid. But always, a big band for us in the Jersey Shore is the Nerds. They've been around for 30, 40 years, if anybody knows.
Cops all the time.
So our claim to fame, how we got started, is there's that little bar called Jenkinson's Pavilion, which everybody knows. It's in Point Pleasant.
Yeah.
They have been headlining Jenkinson's Thursday fireworks for many years on Thursday nights, and we were the opening act for them, right? So we were the guys that say, hey, we'll play for free, just give us a shot. And next thing you know, we just rocked the house one night and got signed to, their agencies and they booked their schedules. And it was a fun, time for about 5 years. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very
Quick fun fact. The last 8 years, we've had either the B Street Band or Tramps Like Us play Calaghi Christmas party every year. So
yeah. So I know of the names. I don't know the guys, but I know some of those guys in those bands, like the Nerds and Lifespeed and the Benjamins. These are all Jersey Shore,
Big Orange Cone, right? Dog
Big
Boy.
Orange Cone, Dennis. Yes, he's now in the Benjamins. So it's a big circle, right? And at any time, I have 3 drum sets probably behind me here that. They can call you and say, hey, you want to fill in tonight? Absolutely. I can't do it on a real thing anytime.
We have Joe, we have surfing, scuba diving, like Outer Banks, LBI. Yes, there's much in the house, Vivian. Plus, we have the ambassador results and some other amazing judges. Take us in.
Yes, we do. We have Ruth Carmazan. Yeah, she's in the house. Woo! She was searching for answers on her own illness in her late 20s, so she turned to Chinese medicine and dedicated her life to seek answers. For the past 18 years, Ruth Carmazan is owner and operator of Karma Bridge Acupuncture and Herbals, a family practice in Hackettstown, New Jersey, or Hackettstown. On her podcast, Circle of Messengers, she discusses how ancient medicine can be effective in a modern world. She believes we can change our blueprint to effect change positively through language, art, love, fun, thought, and medicine. Welcome, Ruth.
Ruth, welcome. How are you?
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. And where are you coming from today for everybody, Ruth?
I am in Hackettstown, New Jersey.
The great state of New Jersey, ladies and gentlemen. And Ruth, what's a fun fact about you?
So, fun fact, I used to be a rock climbing guide, and I used to be a competitive rock climber, indoor rock climbing.
So where's your favorite mountain to climb?
Oh my gosh. Well, we live in the home state, New Jersey, but in New York, there's the most amazing traditional rock climbing area called the Gunks, and that's wonderful. But I would love to go back to the Canary Islands.
Amazing. You know what, Ruth, what I would be very appreciative of, and I would find any way I could to support it, is if you would take Rob Gill rock climbing and we could video the entire thing. That would be. Could we do that, Reese? Like, we take Rob Gill like, the steepest, sheerest cliff and just mic him up the whole way, and we're like every word he's saying on Facebook Live. Sounds.
I don't see it happening.
All right.
Has to be a willing participant.
That would be amazing. Amazing. We'll kidnap him. We'll take him. We'll tell you a little bit later about the last time we kidnapped Rob into the ocean. Different story for a different day. Vivian, I think we have another judge.
Yes, we do. We have Esther Wildenberg in the house. Woo! And she's
Esther.
also wearing white. So the two ladies that are here today are wearing white. And I love that. By age 33, she was leading a team of over 800 employees and is now, boom, the co-founder and CEO of Codebreaker Technologies. She's passionate about transforming businesses and uses bank as a driving force to achieve exponential growth. So welcome, Esther.
Esther, that's some drop the mic rock star stuff. How are you?
I'm amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being here. And where are you coming from today?
Laguna Beach, California.
Ah, very, very nice. And a fun fact about you, Esther, please.
I'm from the Netherlands, born and raised in The Hague, lived in Amsterdam. Met my wife speaking at a conference. She's actually the #1 female keynote speaker in the world. So she shared the stage with Robert Kiyosaki and Les Brown and Sir Richard Branson, Tony Robbins. And I bought her product.
No way. Who's your wife?
What's her name?
Yeah.
Sherry Tree.
Amazing. That is absolutely amazing. So what an incredible story. How did you end up leading a team of 800 people? Like, talk about that.
There's a very long story, but I became the CEO of a very successful consulting company in Amsterdam. They had 800 employees, consultants. Basically, we brokered them out to Shell and IBM and Unilever. And I started as a business unit director of 8 business units. And then I became the sales director, and then I became the CEO. So at the age of 33, I was running a $500 million company in the Netherlands.
That is extraordinary, extraordinary. And thank you so much for being here and sharing your genius.
Happy to be here.
Yes, and forgive
and I'm an identical twin, so
that is a super fun fact too. Amazing. Amazing. So Esther's in the house, and last but certainly not least, we have the big man in the house, the godfather of soul, the mayor of money, the ambassador of results.
Yes, we do. I love those titles. I forgot them. We got Rob Gill in the house, founding member of Epic Wealth Management. He uses an educational approach to add value as a financial professional to help business owners and C-suite executives live their most epic life. So he's also a man of the community and provides education and opportunities and tuition assistance for economically disadvantaged students from Holy Cross Parish in Rumson, New Jersey. So welcome, Rob.
Rob Gill in the house.
Thank you so much. And Vivian, your enthusiasm is infectious and incredible. Phenomenal.
Thank you.
So Rob Gill is a dear friend, a partner, and he actually manages my money and my insurance needs. And I'll give Rob Gill this very unique distinction. There is no way in the world that I thought life insurance was a financial product or program. And the stuff that this man set up for me was mind-numbing and mind-blowing. So Rob, I have fun, we joke. I love you, brother, though, and have all the respect in the world for your genius and what you're up to.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that, Sean. Awesome, and I'm grateful to be a judge today. Excited about what's going to happen.
Yeah, we're gonna.
I've also been watching Rob on some of his YouTube videos. So if you haven't seen them, I think you should, because he is dropping the mic, has that New Jersey accent.
So what we have the way we kind of work on my accent is the other team members are in videos too, so they kind of flatten out the accent a little bit, and the message is all about education. But thank you, Vivian. I appreciate that.
So my fun fact for today is it's a combined fun fact. It's that I told Rob Gill he has no need to ever worry about sharks when he comes into the ocean with me. When we went in, there was like, Rob, can you just give your 10-second version of we're in the ocean, there's fog everywhere, and what like coming out of the fog in every direction?
Yeah, so just to touch on what Joe was talking about, here in New Jersey, we have the Jersey Shore, and I've believed that since I was 5 years old, the shark is going to attack me. So you know, I'm with Sean September 2018, which is after the summer ends, and it's his Uncle John sends him a text, don't go in the water, there's an undertow, kind of like which what my dad would do. And I hadn't been in the ocean in about 3 years at that point. And I happened to be going into the ocean with a dear friend, partner of mine, who happens to be blind, and I'm the only one that can rescue him. And he's just going out there and he's surfing, and he just rides by with. There's another wave, he comes by, and he's just going about his business, and he's just surfing. And if anyone's been in the ocean alone, there's an eerie silence between waves. Like there wasn't kids playing, there wasn't the lifeguard. I was in the ocean by myself, and it was foggy. And he asks me, hey, how far out of the waves are breaking? And we couldn't see it because it was foggy. Long story endless, about 30 feet to my left peripheral, I could have swore I saw something bobbing its head up and down, which to me looked like a seal. And my wife is always doing Shark Week with the kids, usually in July and August on TV. And I know where there's seals, there's sharks. And the only recourse we had at the time was Nicole, who was on the sand, maybe 300 yards away. And I said, Sean, when he was learning to trust me, I said, I think I see a seal over there. And he knew I didn't want to be in the ocean anyway. So he immediately asked Nicole to verify and clarify if she saw a seal, just so we're all on the same page. We can't confirm that there was a seal. But I did see something bobbing his head out of the water, and shortly after that, we did get out of the ocean. But Sean did get his surfing in. It was definitely not an optimal day as far as like conditions to be in an ocean. But if you were riding waves, it was really good.
No, and by the way, the exact same to like land this, in the exact same spot 2 weeks ago, I got bumped by a shark.
Yeah.
And then 3 hours later, they fished out they fished and released an 8-foot bull shark right there. So I'm relatively confident that I was bumped by an 8-foot bull shark exactly where I was hanging with Rob, who was like, I was like laughing, like, dude, you're not like, you had nothing to worry about with sharks. So I was surfing later that day. I did surf today. Love sharks, love the ocean, love everything. But yes, we need Rob Gill, not only surfing, shark like rodeoing. We also need, again, one more time, Ruth, we need that man on a cliff, like mic'd up, and that's what we need from Rob Gill.
Well, hold on, Sean. Before you get going, I want to clarify something that happened a year ago, May, and you had me do something then that I never did before, which was zip lining. And if anyone ever went zip lining, as I was about to go zipping, I looked to the guy and I said, what's the weight limit? He said 260. I said, what if I'm 260? Woo! I go zip lining, and as I'm coming in to land, whatever the word is, I could have swore that I was going to break through the line and like just crash into a rocket at 80 miles an hour. So I'm pretty comfortable knowing that there won't be any rock climbing anytime soon.
There's no weight limit.
Thank you. Thank you for
I'll pull the rocks down.
And by the way, I've had the privilege of sharing some big stages with Rob Gill. He's become an incredible speaker. We have an awesome friendship, and love you, brother. Thank you. And we are here, though, to unleash the superpower of influence, to see what happens with it. How does somebody, like Esther, run a $500 million company, become CEO at 33, youth businesses like rock climbing, leading with people, Nate, Joe, all their genius and mastery, Rob, Vivian, how do we unlock like the next level? That's what we're going to do today. So Vivian, are you ready?
I'm the role player, so I'm in.
Let's go. So here's how it works. We're going to have 1 6-minute conversation cut in half. You don't, at the end of the first 3 minutes, have to set up the next 3 minutes. It's like Vivian's going to get a phone call, pause. Judges, in round 1, what we're looking for is how much do these fine folks, right, Nate, Joe, how much are they having Vivian see her future in them? Like that's what's present. And then round 2, it's going to be how do they share who and what they are and what they're up to and move to a yes in the back half of that conversation, right? Because we never want to be Charlie Brown's teacher. Because Rob, what did Charlie Brown's teacher say?
Wah, 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 woo, woo, wah.
Yes, that is a brutal version of it, but it's something like that. Vivian, let's take us in. Can you do the coin toss and either select Nate or Joe to pick? And who goes first?
I love that it's a coin toss. It's really, I'm going to put my fingers underneath on the floor like you do.
So go ahead.
So Who will it be? I will say Nate. You choose. What do I have?
All right. Okay, so how am I going to influence you?
It's either
As far as,
No. You got to tell me if
Sorry.
it's a 1 or
One
a
or
2
two.
behind me right now.
oh, okay, it's a 2.
No, it's a 1.
all right. So Joe, do you want to go first or second?
Yeah, I'll go first. It's all good. I have no idea what I'm getting myself into here, so I am very, very excited to figure this out.
So Joe, straight up, all we're doing is like we had our fun connecting, and now we're here to really create value add for one another and all the fine folks watching now and who will watch this later, right? Because influence is a superpower. Like, we truly don't solve big problems. We don't make more money in less time with more magic. We don't have kids make better decisions to be on a sports team versus being in a gang. All of these things that we want to solve in the world, Democrats and Republicans here in the US, solving massive issues of racial prejudice, gender bias, all of it being solved by people influencing people. Like, somebody's influencing somebody about something. It's either go left or right. Like, how do we do that?
Yep.
And that's what's present here today. So the initial question, right, very simply, is who do you want Vivian to be? And how do you go from hello to yes, like a yes that you're seeking in the world? She could be yourself, a model client. She could be a book publisher, TV deal, somebody that you want to create, a joint venture and raising money for a charity. Whatever is we suggest a real yes that you're seeking in the world. And we play that out, and then we get some feedback for the judges, because we don't have that unique privilege in life. People say yes, they say no, they don't return phone calls, but like, what's really being received by other people? So that's what's up. And yeah, please take us in. Who would you like Vivian to be?
Let's go with, so I work in employee benefits, right? So I'm dealing with HR, I'm dealing with groups, small, large, biz, it doesn't matter what size, but they need understanding of why it's important to have education to employees with regards to insurance needs, right? So Vivian, I want you to be the HR person at a company.
How big's the company?
Let's call it 50 people. Let's call it 51 people. Okay.
Awesome.
There's a definitely.
And what kind of business do they do?
You can be in IT. IT is a very big thing right now, right? Technology. Let's go
51 person IT company, head of HR. Vivian, are you ready?
I'm in.
All right, Joe.
Born ready.
You're gonna awesome. You're gonna hear a buzzer with 1 minute to go, 30 seconds to go, and then a wrap up at the end. And Vivian will pause, and then we'll finish the second half. Remember, you don't have to get a full yes. It could be for a longer meeting. It could be a yes, but this is the first half of like one conversation. Joe, take us in.
All right. Vivian, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. So question for you, Vivian. Currently, is your 51 Life company offering any type of employee benefits today?
The company is offering us, we use a different company, but yes, we have some benefits that are going on with our company right now.
Can I ask you what those benefits are?
Well, they have life insurance benefits, and some employees have special needs, so they also have different benefits that work for them there. And right off the top of my head, I guess I'd have to look for that. But what are the benefits were you thinking and you offering?
Well, when you're a company of over 51 people, there's mandates in New York and New Jersey that says that's required that you have to offer employee benefits. If you not comply by that law, okay, of making an offer of coverage, you as an HR person can be liable, okay, and responsible. In addition to that, your company in itself could be liable and subject to some significant fines. So it's not so much, do you offer insurance or what insurance do you offer? It's why don't? Are you protecting yourself? A lot of times people don't understand why they have to make an offer, whether or not people understand, what the coverage is or why or what or how. It's also, your responsibility as an HR or a company to make that offer to protect the company. So it's all about, as we talk about, education, understanding, and knowing what the future holds. In a lot of cases, finding people's needs.
What are some of the blind spots that I may not be looking at that you're trying to bring light to?
Well, some of the blind spots in this is a healthy work environment, a happy work environment, bringing into play, a competitive market. So, some raw talent that maybe you're trying to attract by offering a benefits package. What a complete benefits package can get you some kind of probably more key type of people, elevated, performance type of folks. So depending in your market, IT, I'm assuming, is a very competitive market. One of the questions that could be asked from one of your prospective employees is, what benefits are you offering today? So it's not so much, it's kind of a double-edged sword from a competitive standpoint and a benefit offering, but also protecting your company as well.
So what are you thinking that I should be thinking about? What do you offer that I should be considering?
So right off the back, ACA compliance, it's probably the number one things that people are missing off the top, okay, as a company. In addition to that, educating you on, what the requirements are, okay? And that stems from plan design to affordability, a bunch of different testing that goes on within there, and then educating your employees on those type of plans that you are required to offer.
Okay.
All right, Vivian, you got to grab a quick phone call.
I'm interested in learning why I would go with you with the ACA compliance a little bit further.
Vivian, can you pick it up there after your phone call?
Yep. So, if you give me 5 more minutes down the road, let's set a time to speak next. I have a 10-question questionnaire that you will answer yes or no's. And with that questionnaire, we'll let you know whether or not you have exposed your company and yourself to potential fines.
Awesome. Vivian, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I didn't know if I could have for a second. We're going to pick up there after you grab your quick phone call. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe. Joe, how'd that feel for you?
So it felt, obviously, it felt good. I mean, Vivian not knowing what I do. Okay. Essentially, it's a big, compliance is such a big thing in our world, and people, 2 life groups all the way to 500 life groups. There's all some type of compliance that is essentially attached to employee benefits. And
so can I ask you this? So are you talking to Vivian's head or her heart?
I'm talking to her head and heart, and the reason why is she's an.
Love you. Vivian,
I'm sorry.
What's the level of heart connection, would you say, 1 to 10, that you felt with Joe?
3 at best.
Okay. And how about head understanding?
It was really up in the 7, 8 head.
Yeah, awesome. Right. So what drives your desire to meet with somebody a second time? Your heart or your head?
My heart.
Okay, cool. So yeah, not making anybody wrong. We're here. Thank you for courage and vulnerability. We're here to unleash next levelness. Joe clearly understands his stuff at a deep level. So let's see how that fits, right? Amazing. Thank you. Nate, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, take us in.
All right.
Okay.
First of all, could I make a real quick distinction that my brother's name is Mike, not Chris? I didn't put that in the email, so I just wanted to make sure that nobody's calling him Chris Zeleznik. Second thing, I would like Vivian to be the head of the Veterans Administration dealing with disabilities.
Boom, head of the VA, Vivian. Here we go. Go.
Well, hi, Vivian. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm doing so good. Thank you so much for asking. My name is Nate Zeleznik. Our mutual friend Heather Clark sent me your number so that we could get a hold of each other. And I just wanted to take a couple minutes, if I could, to talk to you about a very interesting program that we're working on and we've been developing for over 20 years here to help veterans who have PTSD, but also those who have visual disabilities. Do you have just a couple minutes of time for me?
Yes, I do.
Okay, fantastic. Well, first thing, I was just curious. For you, what really drives you to help the veterans with disabilities? What's the biggest driving part for you on that?
Oh my God, every day working and seeing all of the challenges that they have and how I can be of service is always my biggest passion. But I've also lost, family members that have participated and served our country. So it's a cause very close to home.
Yeah, same here. Same for me too. And, when I was talking with Heather, she was telling me how she's seen several veterans commit suicide in the VA parking lot from PTSD related issues. And, when I got a hold of Heather, it really dawned on me that we have something that can really help our men and women of service that have given everything and sacrificed everything for our country. And, with what you're going with now, the VA is turning more toward the alternative health and meditation and yoga to help people with their heart-brain connection. Thank you so much for taking my call today. Would it be okay if I told you just a little bit about what I'm offering and how it's helped veterans that we've worked with here in Utah?
I would love that.
Fantastic. Well, first of all, we have a blindness rehabilitation program that's not exactly rehabilitation. It actually helps blind people develop a sense that we all have, but refine it to such a point that they can live more independently. And we've proven this medically, neuroscience, optometrists, and we even have blind people to do this. So for the 175,000 blind veterans we have in this country, this is something that could really revolutionize their life after having given so much for our country so far. But for people with PTSD, I mean, we've trained thousands of people, many of whom have returned from service. And almost every one of them has had their PTSD symptoms relieved through our breath work and meditation and our exercise program. And, since military people are so disciplined, what we do goes hand in hand with their mindset of process mastery. And what I'm looking to do is just get about a half-hour conversation where I can show you some demonstrations, have some people show you and tell you what's really benefited them. And I was just wondering if you have any time coming up. Let's see, I have Thursday and Friday. Which one of those days works best for you for just a half hour?
I think Friday sounds great.
Okay, fantastic. Are you better in the afternoons or the mornings?
Mornings.
Wonderful. Fantastic. 10 a.m. Eastern time, okay for you?
Yes.
Wonderful. All right. Well, and Vivian, would it be okay if I just sent you over a quick 5-minute video for you to watch so you have a little bit of a understanding of what we're doing before we get on our call?
Yeah, Vivian, you got to take a quick call and we'll pick it up there.
Sure. My email is vivianincorporated@gmail.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I'm going to send that over to you in about 5 minutes. And if you could just take a look, if you have any questions tomorrow, I'm more than happy. I'd love to answer those for you. And we're going to see what we can do for the people that really deserve it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Awesome. How'd that feel for you, Nate?
This is a conversation I'll be having in a week.
All right.
It feels good. I love our veterans, straight up. And it's such a passion for me to help them that whatever I can do, I want to do. So it feels good to me in my heart. Yeah.
Cool. Vivian, heart level connection, scale 1 to 10.
It was up there. It was on the 7-8 level. I mean, even just with his tonality, I was already in.
Cool. All right. So let's take it from there and see what our judges have to share. Judges, if you give about 40 seconds of feedback, with 5 seconds to go, you'll hear a buzzer, for each person. So, 40 seconds for Nate, 40 seconds for Joe. And let's go first half of it, what you thought worked. And the second half, what was an opportunity for massive exponential acceleration. Ruth, what do you got?
So Joe, awesome. I thought you were really smooth, approachable content. I loved that. And I liked your energy. When you started talking about ACA compliance, because I'm not an HR person, I kind of went, okay, I don't know what you're talking about. So it was a little heady for me. I thought something you could do as an opportunity was just connect more on the heart level, which is obvious, that's already been talked about. And very more make sure that the person on the other end, like Vivian in this case, is in your wheelhouse, connecting to. Okay. Overall, I would give you a 6.5.
Awesome. And how about for Nate?
Nate, I felt like you came in really smooth with talking about helping vets with PTSD and visual disabilities. There was no variance in the tone. You created emotional rapport right away. And you also got an agreement to move forward to explain more about your products and services, but you also did explain some of that. There was something I'm watching you visually. I think if I'd closed my eyes, it would have been different, which I'm learning from Sean's blindness. Thank you very much. But I felt like there was some kind of, you came in with love, but there was something that it wasn't congruent for me there, just visually. And I'm not sure what that was. I would give you a 7.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Ambassador, great job, Ruth. Ambassador of results, what do you have?
Who do I do first, Joe or Nate?
Go Joe.
Okay, Joe has to really embrace the understanding of how to build rapport, to where he could connect to Vivian's heart. I think if he learns those steps, that could be very powerful, because his information and the knowledge of his information, I think we all agree, is phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
I felt like during the process, I personally like to hear yes momentum questions. For example, Vivian, can you hear me okay? Or does that make sense? Are you with me? Or those kind of connections are important for me when I talk. But everything that I've learned over the last 2 years is rapport. Because once you build rapport, everything else becomes easier. And I think that Joe, in setting up the next meeting, which really didn't get set up, and Nate did this, I give Nate, he did this part really well. But I always believe in that next call. It's like, hey, but in threes, can you get together Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, morning, afternoon, or night, 8, 9, 10, 5, 6, 7. Like, that's the best way to set up, in my opinion, the next meeting. But I before E, except after C, unless you're going to build high-level rapport and speak to the heart from the heart, there's always going to be challenges, even if they take the second meeting. So right. That's what I give Joe. I give Joe about a 6.5.
Yeah, and just Rob, real quick, if you drop on this, like, all kidding aside, how many times have I made you cry in a relationship?
11.
Yeah, and just for real, and why do you cry? When you do, why are you crying? Just like really.
Because you hear me, and it creates a breakthrough because you hear me first. I mean, like, for real. Yeah. And really understand me and make me feel that, like, what I have is just, it's the real thing. You know what I mean? Validation beyond, like, anything that I've ever seen before.
Yeah. And quick, like, no, because somebody could say, well, I'm dealing with corporate people, HR. I went in to talk to somebody who's the most hardcore, one of my most incredible rapport building stories ever. This is 15 years ago. And I went into a company, and they were hardcore. They built yachts, and they were, like, dealing with all sorts of immigration issues and English as a second language dynamics. And it was, like, hardcore, like, we need to keep our people accountable and right? Like, this really hardcore HR director, mid-50s, had been around forever. He was like, all right, what's your pitch on training, right? And 10 minutes later, Vivian, 10 minutes later, he was crying, telling me about his struggles with his drug-addicted son, who was going to be a professional baseball player, whose career had gotten completely sidelined, and he was just there thanking me for listening. Like, people need desperately listening.
Yep.
And we're in our own head about, like, what we're gonna, like, offer and how, you know, great it is. How, you know, it's like we're missing that gift we can give people. So Rob, awesome. Yeah. And for Nate?
Yeah, Nate. I love the speed and the tone. The woman before me said there was no variance. I do agree with that. He asked a very good question within the first 20 seconds of Vivian, and basically he asked what drives her, and that's when she opened up, and her voice tone actually matched his after that. I felt like they were like in a fireside chat, just having like a genuine conversation that wasn't like forced. I love the alternative choice. I love the next meeting setup. I don't know how I feel, which means I don't like it right now, about the video, asking someone to watch the video before you call them. I struggle with that part a little bit, but that may work wonders for you. So I don't want to take that away either, because I understand everyone has their process and strategy. But once again, I think if you, and the thing I've learned so much from Sean, and this is for you, Joe, directly, the thing is building rapport changes the game in ways that it was never in that place before. And I think that Nate did a phenomenal job of rapport building.
Yeah. So what number?
I'm going to give him an 8.5.
All right. So my brother, who I love you very much, could I support you with the takeaway from today? This is
yes.
Okay.
Always.
I want to run an experiment. Ruth, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. So prior to Rob saying, the woman that went before me, right? Prior to him saying that, scale 1 to 10, what level of connectivity did you feel towards Rob?
Probably 7.5 to 8.
Okay. Did him saying the woman that went before me, as opposed to saying, hey, what Ruth was saying, did that
Yes.
have an impact on that number?
Yes.
What did it do to that number?
Dropped it to about. It made me feel insignificant.
Yep.
Yeah. And what number did it drop it to?
6 from almost an 8.
So it was like, what number did it drop? It was a 7.5 or 8. And what number did it drop to?
6.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Sorry about that, Ruth. Never happened again.
Brother, all good. And by the way, I worked super hard before, and I make mistakes. I think I've made one mistake, right? But every show, you know, sometimes we have our 5 people on the Real Raw. It's not easy. I can't see, right? So I got to be in my head. Remember, participants, judges. There's such a dynamic of knowing that, and so even Rob, who's unbelievable at influence, like none of us are perfect. I'm not perfect by any stretch of imagination, but just these micro distinctions could have really massive impacts. You know, that's all. And that's for everybody. It's not just for Rob, obviously. So thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And so, but like, I'm so in tune with loving people, unconditional boundaries. Like, I'm dialed in. And when that happened, I felt it. I literally felt it. Like, oh, you know, like, awesome job, because Rob's here serving. He's like in his like serving head from his heart, like delivering information. Like, it's just always pausing to like think about the group dynamic and like what's occurring. So, and that's for everybody. So great job. Esther, what do you have? Let's start with Joe.
Thank you. I will come from a perspective of personality science, buying behavior. That's what we do. So what I noticed, Joe, is you were a lot in your head and you wanted to share as much as knowledge, and you talk a lot about the law. Looking at Vivian, she doesn't care about the law and knowing until she connects with you in the heart and make it about her. How can you make her look good as an HR person to her whole team? And asking what is her pain as an HR person with her team, and how can you make her look good and make the company look good, and ask her a question, what is her pain? Because maybe there is no pain, and maybe she doesn't care about the law, or maybe she doesn't care. So you have to get her to the caring point by connecting to her and making about her, knowing her. But I see, because it's my expertise, her personality type is like, it's about me. I'm here to shine, make me look good, and you got me, and I will buy from you anything. But you didn't make it about her. You made it about you and your expertise. And I think that's where the disconnect happened. So if you can connect with her and make it about her instead of sharing what you know, I think that's most important in the conversation. And ask more questions and be silent. Give her time to respond. The more she talks, the less you talk, the more chance you have for her to want to talk more to you, right? People want to be heard, want to be seen. It's all about them, right? It's their favorite subject. So.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No, great feedback. Thank you.
And what was your score, Esther?
I would say a 6.
Cool. All right. And for Nate?
Nate, I loved how you made it about her and what drives her. That's a great question. Sometimes what drives people is not necessarily the pain of the organization, right? They're 2 different things. So I would add that to it. So you don't make it just about her, but also about how can you make her look good in the organization. So what drives you and what drives the organization, because they're not necessarily the same thing. I think your tone is very kind, but if I close my eyes, it is a little bit too juicy, too sweet, too soft. Like when I do business with someone, I also need to know they have my back, that if I fall, you're gonna catch me, right? If I make the wrong decision, that you're gonna pick it up and not just give me a hug, right?
Yeah, I gotcha.
So that's we're really from a heart connection place, and that is what she needs to connect with you. I think you did a great job. I would say I wrote one thing down. Yeah, the video. you know, people they're just overwhelmed with videos all the time. Just ask if she wants to see a video instead of sending, I will send you a video.
Okay.
Like, let people decide if they want that. Not everybody wants that. And you got the next appointment. So I think that's key. That is the goal. So great job. I will give you a 7.5.
Awesome. Esther,
Thank you.
Tremendous feedback. Love the analysis, and that's how you got to be in a place that you've gotten to. So extraordinary. Awesome. Thank you for that. And we're ready for round 2. Great feedback. And I'll just give this. Joe, you are so articulate, so smart, have such presence, have such strength, Zeus energy, just opening up, like the sequencing of that conversation, and not transactionally, not like check a box so you can move on to what you want to, but the love, like the openness of heart, connecting, like being present. Yes, as Esther said it, I see you, I hear you, and what you say matters to me. Is what Oprah Winfrey said is why she held the microphone for 30,000 people and is a multi-billionaire, and there's so many incredible people that never got a TV show or had a TV show for like a year and we don't remember their name. Oprah was Oprah. Her words, final video, check it out on YouTube. I see you, I hear you, and what you say matters to me. 30,000 folks. That's what she attributed to in one sentence, right? Beautiful. Round 2. Let's see. We had Joe went first. Nate, you ready to rock in this round?
Absolutely.
All right, brother. And yes, I agree. Beautiful heart-centeredness, energetic variance. Love to see it, and making sure we're authentically in our heart, like we're present, we're real, we're there. It's all who we truly are. Step into that, brother, and take us away for second round where you're sharing who you are, what you're up to, and whatever the yes it is that you're seeking. Please.
Okay. So is it a full introduction again?
No,
Or is this
you're just continuing from you.
Okay, just continuing. Okay, fantastic. Well, hi, Vivian. This is Nate Zalesnik. How's your day so far?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Oh, if I were any better, I'd be twins. Love that saying, and it's totally the truth. Totally the truth. Thank you so much for agreeing to meet with me today for our second appointment. And I hope that you had a chance to watch that video that I sent to you. But if not, I'd really like a chance to tell you more about what we're doing here. But before I do that, I was just curious, something that you said to me on our last conversation really stuck with me, that you said that you've lost friends and family members who were in the military. Have you ever had anybody that you know in the military that is really suffering from PTSD or depression, things like that?
Yes, and that's why when you said that, and you said it twice, I was curious to see the connection between what you do and how it helps someone with PTSD and with depression.
Yeah. Well, a good friend of mine who is a Marine sniper, he was talking about going to the VA, and, they gave him a lot of chemicals, a lot of drugs to take. But what he found really helped him the most was a meditation and yoga practice that he got off all of his meds. Have you ever heard of anybody doing that?
Well, you hear all kinds of things. The question is, do the people that do this, that we know that are veterans and family members and friends, do they follow through with it? That's a whole different story.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Because we've also had some good friends that they tried the yoga and just didn't stick, and they went, they tried other things as well. But, I was wondering what, now that you've had a chance to see our video, or at least you've had a chance to think about what I was talking about, how the VA is considering alternative therapies. I know it's expanded, but, as far as something that really can, in a couple weeks, help veterans really take down their depression, take down their anxiety, take down their PTSD. What is the VA's position on that kind of technology?
The idea of exploring something that's healing, that's outside of using any kind of medicine, is part of my cornerstone in trying to help people around me. So it's something I would fight for, even if there was any pushback on my end.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful. Well, now that we have our half-hour conversation, I really would like to dive in and tell you a little bit about what we do and how it helps people, if that's all right with you.
Yes, please.
Fantastic. Well, my brother Mike and I brought a very special type of meditation and breathwork discipline from the royal family of Java, Indonesia, here to America 21 years ago. And over that time, we've trained over 2,000 people, many of whom have returned from service. And we've seen such amazing results just by following this method with people who have been contemplating suicide, who are now living very successful lives, to people who have really struggled with self-confidence after their service, who
How
are
does it work?
now business owners. Well, thank you for asking. It combines specific breath work and meditation, but also exercise and the physical practices to really help people embody themselves and understand and recognize their own personal power and how they are not helpless to what they're feeling. And they really get that sense of oneness in themselves, that things are going to be okay, that they have the power to change their life, and they're not going to be a product of the things that have happened to them. Because, you know, like we always say here, life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. And so
30
this
seconds. Yep.
this is a program where we can come on in and we could take, say, a control group of 20 soldiers, 20 people that are suffering, and really prove it to you in a way where, you know, we'll just look at the feedback, where they're at on a scale of 1 to 10 as far as their depression and anxiety before and after. And we could even find out from their family members if they were willing to see what a difference it's made in their life, and maybe continue on from there, because this is a program that will change so many people's lives, that I really want that opportunity to change what our veterans see their lives as after their service.
Last 10 seconds.
How does that sound to you?
Well, it's fascinating. It's interesting. I'd be curious to know more about the length of the program and what the benefits are and how you
Fantastic.
come in and do a trial run.
Well, I think 2 weeks would be a very good baseline study, and we can go from there. But this is something that we would love to be an ongoing program, because just like going and working out, the more you do it for the longer time you do it, the more benefit you're going to see. And this has the opportunity to change lives. And
Awesome
we
job,
want to
Nate.
do that.
Excellent. Vivian, scale of 1 to 10, heart connection.
I was very interested in the subject matter, so I would say an 8.
Okay, and how about this? How much are you interested in learning more?
A 10.
Awesome. All right, excellent. Neat. Joe, you ready?
I am.
All right, 3 minutes, brother. Take us in.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, Vivian. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent. Excellent. So thank you for taking the time out again today. I know I had sent you over a questionnaire. I really appreciate you taking the time to do it. When you essentially filled it out, I mean, did you understand the 10 questions that were, that they went through? I mean, although yes and no, did you find any of them complex at all?
Some of them did baffle me, and I wasn't so sure. And then I was wondering how this was going to help overall. So can you explain that?
Oh, absolutely. So the whole thing is, as we know, employee benefits are very, very complex. They change every day. And what I would say for you and your employees are their emotional benefits, right? And something that might be good for you might be different for somebody else. Something that meets your needs might meet some different needs for somebody else, right? So that's where education comes in. And that's, what's key for me and my team, right? When it comes down to, educating yourself, is as an HR, right? You are in charge of a lot of different, things within a company. The CEO oftentimes puts employee benefits in your hands. Okay, so you're making those decisions to essentially roll out these benefits to your employees, which ultimately come back onto you. Right. So we're here, or I'm here, I should say, to walk you through and guide you in trying to, educate you in offering, a magnitude of rich benefits towards your employees. Now, the big thing here, too, is oftentimes, as we talked about, you as an HR could be liable if you don't do certain things for your employees. And our biggest concern, and my biggest concern, is making sure that you personally are protected, right? So in addition to the company, HR, a lot of this falls on your hands, and we want to be here to help you. So we completed the test. Okay, where we scored, we have places that we have to identify. So we have to work together. This is not something that can be done in 5-10 minutes. we need to set up a second call. Okay, I need you to set aside maybe an hour, 2 hours, however long it'll take yourself to understand and help us educate you with regards to employee benefits. You wear a lot of different hats, okay?
How can you simplify it? Because now it just seems to me that you're bringing to my awareness something that seems more severe, or like I'm missing something that's going to be detrimental. I certainly don't want to miss out on that. And it has, it sounds a little frightening, to be honest with you, but I'm really looking more to figure out in a simple way how I can provide the best services for my employees right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
30 seconds to go.
Our program that we put together, we keep it simple. It's the KISS system. Keep it simple, stupid, right? So with the education that we provide you, again, it's to assure you that you're doing the best thing you possibly can with the requirements that you're supposed to do as an HR towards employee benefits. Thing in us that we are guiding you based on our experience, our knowledge, and testimonials that we've gotten throughout the years.
Last 10 seconds.
How does that sound?
Well, I feel a little bit more confused, in terms of not knowing what I'm missing out on to have a great environment for my employees that I'm not sure that I'm missing right now. But you've brought something to my attention that seems that I might have to look into it. So I'm thankful for that. So thank you.
Yeah, and I would like to set, further time throughout the next couple of days, which would work best for you. Give me 3 days that might work. 3 times we'll make it work for us, as long as it works for you.
Okay, awesome. We're going to pause. Vivian, how did you just scale 1 to 10 connectedness score that you felt towards Joe?
I felt less connected in this round.
So what number?
I would say a 5.
Okay, so here, just a quick demo. Joe, you did, I'm sure you're successful, doing great. I'm hallucinating that you're here because you want to make more money with more time efficiency and have more magic in your life. Is that fair?
That is fair, yes.
Okay, right? So, hey, Vivian, hey, it's Joe. Thanks so much for picking up. Do you still have 3 minutes today?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, awesome. And, I was introduced to you by Mary, who said that, you're doing a great job in HR here, and I really appreciate you taking the time.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and I know it's a crazy time of Corona. So before we talk anything else, how are you doing?
Well, all of the employees and myself, whether one person is depressed or somebody doesn't want to work right now, or what with so many different complexities and people losing people through the virus, it's just been a very challenging time just to keep people in a healthy place emotionally alone.
Yeah, and how's that feeling for you?
It's overwhelming.
Oh, well, listen, I know lots going on. We're only taking 3 minutes, but would there be a better time to chat, or you want to finish up these next 2 minutes?
Let's finish up these 2 minutes.
Yeah, and I just want to really be present to the reality that people that are in your seat are going through all of these things, and I can't even fathom what's occurring for you, because not only are you dealing with all of this, but how are you guys doing economically, if I could ask? Is there challenges on the horizon related to the company?
Absolutely. We're losing employees. We're working so differently right now. We're not keeping up with everything that we have. I think people are also afraid of losing their jobs, and many have.
Yeah. And so for you, what is it that you want to do though, going forward? Here, the company's there, loads of things are happening. What brings you to HR? Where do you go from here? I know it's probably pretty challenging to see, but what is it that you want?
I would like to maintain a semblance of what a company looks like. So when we're a year from now, we have the same systems in place that represent heart and compassion for our employees, and a place that they can come back to.
So I know we only have a minute to acknowledge you. I could feel your pain, your concern, your empathy. It's present, and I acknowledge you for that. Because a lot of times people in your shoes become sour, angry, upset, resentful. I don't feel that. I hear this yearning to make things better for people, and I want to acknowledge you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So just in this final minute, like what I do is I can't solve all these challenges. I'm not gonna lie to you, tell you I can. But we sit in a space of benefits that are voluntary. And some of the things that in a time like this, some of your employees may want and need. And we also look at this full gamut, this very complex time about how to make sure we're avoiding other liability pitfalls for the company. And so my job is to make your job a little easier. My job is to make you shine even more than you already shine, especially in these complex times. And if any of that's interesting, Vivian, I'd love to spend, and I know we only 3 minutes today, 15 minutes talking a little bit more about how I could support what you're up to and the company.
That sounds wonderful.
All right. Level of connectedness, Vivian.
10.
Okay. Let's drop in, starting in reverse order. Esther, what do you have to share?
You want me to go Joe first or Nate?
Your choice.
Okay, Joe, we're talking. Let's start there. What I heard a lot is, as we know, it's like an assumption, right? It's your knowledge, but not necessarily, although she's HR, but it doesn't mean she knows everything, right? And you said what you're concerned about and what your cares are. She doesn't care what your concern is. She wants you to ask, what is your concern and what do you care about? Right? So you come a lot from your own perspective and everything you know, but people don't care what you know until they know you care, right? So I missed that again in the second round, that connection and making it about her. You make the sales conversation about you, and it comes across selling the product and selling what you know. But let me tell you, 90% of the people you meet really don't care what you know. They really don't care they know you're going to sell something. Otherwise there wouldn't be a meeting or a call. So they care. Do you care about me? Do you care about my organization? Are you asking questions so you can serve my pain and my needs instead of trying to sell me what you have to offer and what you know? So start with the simple version, the bottom line. This is what I have to offer. This is what we're an expert in. Are you interested in knowing more? And is it okay if I ask you a few questions? Start with the bottom line and then expand. You start with the expansion, and most people just get totally lost in that world. And that's where you get a no right away. So that is my biggest thing for you, is really dive into personality science, because you probably sign up a lot of people who you can connect with who want to know all the information, but most people don't. They just want to know it works and how can you take things off my plate and take care of stuff so I don't have to take care of it. And now you put more thinking process on her plate and more pain on her plate than she already had. So that was my takeaway.
Yeah. And score?
I stick with my 6.
Brittany, thank you. That was brilliant. Thank you.
Nate. In the beginning, it was a little bit too juicy for me. Like, it's just too soft. Okay. And I know you speak from your heart, but I still need your power, knowing that you're not just, care, but you also know what you're talking about, because so you lost me in the beginning, and you asked a great question, what are you looking for, how to serve, and how you're going to take care of the people. And then she says, oh, I really care about thinking outside the box. But then she said a very key thing is, if the organization was not pushing back so much, and you totally skipped over her, you didn't ask her, what is the pushback from the organization? Because if you had asked that question, she would have given you the pain of the organization and her pain as an HR person, what she's walking into. And then you could have that was the pain point you could have closed her on. Okay. And you just skipped over that key point in the conversation. Yeah, your explanation then became a little bit too like, I lost you, like it was complex, like, we and ask, do you recognize this? Because you share, but it's not necessarily that she recognizes this or that she sees it the same way. You want to make sure that you're on the same page, that she recognizes the pain you see, that she sees the same pain, because your pain is not her pain, right? So that is my my take from your part.
And a score?
I think your first part was better than your second part, so I will go with 6.5.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Rob
much.
Gill.
Yes. So Joe, I think Sean gave you a tremendous live lesson on how to build rapport. I thought that was unbelievable. I'm sorry about my dog in the background. I thought what Sean did, and this ties into a really good learning experience for you, brother. Once again, it's not a question of you knowing the information that's obvious. It's about also, I think personally, once the rapport is built, and you heard how Vivian responded, once the rapport is built and there's an understanding of the pain that she's going through, dealing with this on a daily basis, this is something that's haven't happened in 100 years, and it's uncertain to everything in her life. I think the storytelling of what your unique heroic identity could be a little bit more simplified and really kind of break down what you do, but in a more simpler way, and try and uncomplicate, the way it sounds. And I know it's a complicated space. I get it. I'm not confused about it. But I would kind of work on that, practice in the mirror, do stuff like that. But I think today was great for you with a lot of learning lessons here. The things that really stand out.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 30,000 to 1,000 is rapport, meaning listening as you're asking questions. And then when you dig deeper into certain questions, you could go deeper in that space and learn a little bit more. And there's no mindset of getting a sale. It's really about building a relationship. And I think if it's done that way, and there is a formation agreement, what begins to happen is these are folks that stay on the books forever.
Yep.
They don't leave.
And what'd you have for
6.5.
All right, for Nate?
Nate came in, once again, shining and dancing. He gave his twin comment, created a little bit of laughing. Nate did ask a question, once again, within 15 seconds. He's very good at the first question. He said, can you tell me a little bit more about the friends that you lost? And Vivian was beginning to go down that path, and then Nate automatically pivoted to who he lost. And I thought that area was where he could have stayed with Vivian longer, could have asked another 2 or 3 questions and see where it would have went. And I think it would have been an easier segue for him, because you could tell I was able to identify his work in the formula, because he was going to not only creating the pain, but then he went into his unique heroic identity, which I thought was really good.
Awesome.
I'm going to give him an 8, and I think that the questioning, he should take a pause and listen, and then follow in with more questions based on certain words that he hears when he gets to that space next week.
Okay.
Awesome. Ruth, what do you got?
Okay. I'm going to start with Nate. I think I dialed into what I was feeling the last time. There's a way to be in your heart without whispering. And I'm not, the whispering is throwing me off. I almost feel like you're being sweet in syrup. And that's, it's too much. So I also feel like within that, you're suppressing a deep, vibrant excitement about your product and service in the whispering. And there's got to be a way to pull out your Zeus energy and communicate that in a clear, concise way. Certainty without, you're certain, but there's no specifics. So I loved what you did in terms of connecting and the question that you asked, certainly in the very beginning, and you let it drop. Like when you connected, and I don't know how you say to someone who's a little hesitant, like, tell me more about the friends you've lost. Like, that's a touchy situation. So I think you did a really nice job. My score is 7.5 on that.
Okay. And for Joe?
And Joe, I wrote a couple of times on my paper here, just ask questions as opposed to telling your perspective. I love, love, love your tone. I don't feel pressured by your tone. I feel brought in just by the tone of your voice. That's huge for a woman on the other end of a phone. Like I sense that you have deep inside of you this heart that you're just not accessing. So I'd really love for you to find out by asking questions, so you can draw out the person, and then you can understand them better, and then you can ask, can I educate, or can I tell you more? So the keep it simple, stupid struck me funny there, funny like odd in that, are you calling her stupid? Like it just was, you didn't set up this reciprocity. She wasn't available to you at that point. So the score I gave you is a 6.
Beautiful feedback, Ruth. Appreciate it very much. And how was today for you?
Oh, today was awesome. I'm learning so much. Thank you. I never thought of myself as a salesperson, but clearly, hello, sales.
Amazing. How about Esther? How was today for you?
You're muted.
The baby was crying, so I got him quiet again. That's why I'm muted. Sorry about that. It's a great experience. I love see people grow, and I think this is a great concept, and I hope I could add some value and give some feedback that can help you guys move forward.
Well, you certainly did, Esther, Ruth as well.
Yeah.
Ambassador Results. How was today for you?
It was awesome. I love the role play at all times. It's amazing. It's just a nice practice drill and rehearse. I love you can learn just by watching because in watching Joe, that's what I used to do. You know what I mean? So it was great for me to see that. And it's just a different perspective, and hearing everyone else's input, in and out of the formula, that's also amazing too. And it was really good. It's great, phenomenal, outstanding, grateful,
Awesome.
love it.
Joe, how was today for you?
Yeah, no, it was great to hear everybody's feedback. Number one, Sean, I mean, your approach, I will take some of that because we are living in it right now. And you often forget about, what to ask questions. And I think that's probably everybody, a lot of the same feedback is asking questions and building that rapport. Everybody says the same thing. So, I took, as we're on the phone here, I don't know how many people did, but I took a lot of notes and a lot of the feedback that everybody gave me. Because I will, utilize it and for future references. And, what you guys do here is very, very, very informative. And that role play, you just forget about that, right? I mean, being in the industry for as long as I have been and learning so many different things, that role play, that gets you to the next thing, understanding, we're so drilled on doing webinars and meetings and education about products. We forget about, we are selling emotional benefits, right? We sell emotional benefits, but you forget, you have to connect with those people first as well. So
you got to have an emotional connection to sell emotional benefits.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. Very cool.
Thank you.
To build on this.
Excellent. Nate, final. How was it for you?
All right. Well, first I would like to ask, am I still whispering? No. My volume was turned on my mic way down, so I was like, maybe that's why I thought I was whispering. But I just wanted to first of all say, Sean, thank you very much for having me on. Vivian, so awesome to meet you this morning. Rob, brother, steal the comment. That's great. No, good at you, twin. Joe, I thought you did a fantastic job. And I'd just like to say thank you to Esther and Ruth, both. Your feedback is invaluable. I'm taking everything that you gave me, same with Vivian and Sean. And there is always room for improvement. And I am one of those people that always looks for that, what I can do better with my process, my self-mastery, and also my influence mastery. And this is going to really help me prepare for my conversation coming up in the next week. And
speak in this tone. Be in this power, but still kind. You don't have to become like a wet towel, right?
Yeah. Well, thank you.
People want to buy people from confident, powerful, but kind people, right? And knowing stuff. But when you come across to, I call too juicy, and maybe it's not the right word. Like, I'm still a Dutchie, but it just is like kind of annoying if I'm going to be very direct.
Yeah.
If you're not that way, if you meet somebody else who's like that, you're just going to be like, oh, we're new best friends.
Sure.
you know,
Sure.
but not everybody wants you to melt like cheese over them, you know.
Especially not military people. Especially not the military personnel, for
Nate,
sure.
if you want to play
Thank
this out on tomorrow night's mastery call on Thursday, you could jump in and just come in. We can role play it out and get some great stuff going. So,
Okay, I'll check and see. I've got dinners and lunches and podcasts,
dude,
but
yeah,
I
that's
would
for
love
you.
to.
That's for you.
It's like I said, it's rocket ship time right now, guys. So I would love to be there. I'll see what I can do with my schedule. Thanks for the invitation. You guys are awesome. My gratitude, immense. Thank you.
Vivian, great job as well. Again, thank you. Nate, Joe, Ruth, Esther, Rob, fantastic job. Courage, vulnerability, transparency. Vivian, final.
And not having an understanding of some of the titles that I'm given. I find that Sean does masterful is that in all of those places where I don't. And I think that, today when I was looking at both you, Joe, and Nate, I guess we rely, what we don't think about formula to fill in the spaces and kind of like role play what you think that conversation might even be, to drop it in. And like Sean said, his out was, and this one was, he said, I don't have the answers for all of that that's going on with you, but what I can do is X, Y, Z. And I thought that was so genius. Of course you're genius, Sean, but I think that that's a good thing to take a tear sheet from in any where then we're acknowledging inadvertently the person in front of us. And that's already another point for emotional connection there.
Yep.
That's it.
Vivian, we're in the triple digits on Real Raws, and you're a rock star. So more than 100 in, unlocking the superpower of influence, and integrity-based influence, what to do with it. I'm Sean Calaghi, Vivian Guzman. There's nobody better at starting, launching, bringing love, energy, and integrous dynamics than you, Vivian. Again, thank you all. Have a beautiful day. Ambassador, talk to you later, brother. Thank
Yes, sir.
Wonderful.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
all.